is what is this world that I live in, and what am I to do? What is called with this measure of space and time that has been given to me, called my life. These are the three great questions facing humanity, facing generations and so on. It's really, really interesting. I'm not saying that those three questions are precisely the same as this, but it's really interesting that these three questions you can find in Western philosophy at least, find something of a correlate here. The first one is fundamentally your deepest commitments. Therefore, who are you at your very centre? Who are you at your very centre? Mana tupuna. Tupuna is about the world, the phenomenon of the world. And mana whenua is the creative one, what we ought to do, what we should do, and what we will do in this life that we have. So creative potential is a correlate of mana. The realisation of creative potential in our communities is ultimately about the renewal and fostering of mana in our communities, about bringing people to experiences of their own mana and sustaining that. I wanted to throw this in about tino rangatiratanga because I've got some messages that I want to communicate around tino rangatiratanga. And that is, for those who may not be familiar, tino rangatiratanga is that part of the treaty concerning the protection of Māori rights, Article 2 of the treaty and so on. I am envisaging a creative, positive and dynamic tino rangatiratanga, one that all New Zealand can be proud of. It will involve lifting tino rangatiratanga out of its contested and competitive state that it currently is in with kāwanatanga, and trying to find its own space of integrity, trying to define it from within rather than as a reaction to kāwanatanga, which is constantly what we are doing, constantly defining tino rangatiratanga in the context of kāwanatanga. So if you're using a treaty lens over what we're trying to achieve, this is a way of thinking about it, this is a way of talking about it. Tino rangatiratanga becomes a set of principles, positive creative principles upon which New Zealand could conduct its affairs together with kāwanatanga, rather than merely some kind of banner of protest only, which is what it has been for quite some time. Because we run a Centre of Research Excellence, we have to be concerned with research excellence, with research and how it relates to our communities and how it produces benefits and outcomes and so on. And so we require all the usual things that any research centre would require. These things here are particularly present in Māori research, is whose benefits, whose priorities are being served in the research, who's involved in the research and things like that. Ethical questions, quality research questions and methodologies, capability building, bridges to positive change. These are kind of the standard or usual requirements that we request of any research that we do under our centre. But I wanted to add these final comments here. One thing that struck me having done this presentation is that I think we ought to request of our researchers that they're conscious of the entire continuum, the story of Māori communities, of what's happened to us as a people, and the good bits and the not so good bits, and to be informed of this and intelligent about it. You're less likely to be successful as a researcher in Māori communities if you just don't know anything about this. If you don't know anything about, the fact, things like the alienation of land and what it caused in Māori families. If you don't understand or have some kind of knowledge of this, you're going to be less successful as a researcher.